We are gathered here today to pay our respects to a friend gone too soon. To know the Amazon FBA price bump was to love it. Bow your head.
What's going on, everybody? It's Manny, and I'm back with another video. One of the questions that I've seen pop up all over the place recently in Facebook has to do with whether or not we can actually get away with charging a premium for our Amazon FBA books. Now, I think that's a pretty complicated question. I don't think it's as easy as a yes or a no. Can we actually count on the Amazon FBA bump anymore? Now, as I said, I think that's a pretty complicated question, and the best way that I could answer that is it depends.
Maybe not.
But before I get into it, I'm really hot. It's already hot here in the Midwest, so let me get changed first. Woo! That's way better. I don't mind making these videos a little fun and interesting, but I was not doing a whole video dressed in that.
It was kind of hot.
Okay, back to what we were talking about, the Amazon FBA bump. First of all, let me explain to you what the Amazon FBA bump is. I started selling back in 2015, and we could heavily rely on the Amazon FBA bump. This was just the idea that because you were sending your stuff in FBA, you could actually charge significantly more than your merchant fulfilled competitors, and in fact they weren't your competition at all because of that benefit. So back then, a merchant fulfilled book was seen priced as low as $4. Those were our penny books, and we could consistently sell our books for $10, $15, $25 or even more, and it was strictly because it was FBA and because of those prime benefits. Now, as we all know, a lot of things have changed. Back then, we didn't have to worry about the sales fulfillment fees being what they are today. We were still exempt from long-term storage fees if we kept units down to 1. So there were a lot of ways that we could make money. I could actually sell a $6.95 paperback and actually get a payout of $3. So that was actually also a viable strategy that you could tie into your regular business. Fast forward to today, and we have to worry about increased fulfillment fees. Monthly storage fees themselves haven't increased significantly, but they're still more than they were as well. We also have to worry about long-term storage fees now every 6 months, and starting in September, those long-term storage fees are going to be assessed on a monthly basis. So obviously it's a much different landscape, and we're talking about a much different environment, and even our own FBA competition is treating their business way differently than they were before. So the question is popping up, can I actually charge that much more for my FBA books just because they're FBA? Or do I have to pay closer attention? Do I have to bring my sales price down closer to merchant fulfilled to make the sale? Now, before I start answering anything, I want to let you know, and I want to give you a disclaimer immediately, that the one type of book that is completely exempt, in my opinion, from this conversation is textbooks. I am absolutely pricing up my textbooks. Textbooks are a premium. They are a completely different animal from the average book, and students just don't care. Students need their stuff in a rush because they either did ad drops, made last-minute choices, procrastinated on buying their materials, or they just don't care because they're spending mommy and daddy's money and they're just using the credit card. So when a student needs their book right away, they're going to pay the FBA price regardless. So you can always count on your textbooks going for a much higher price. When you source your textbooks, just make sure you're keeping track of how many offers are there, what the average ranks are, sales counts, how often we can expect the book to sell during the peak times. And also remember, are there any rental fees, or are there any really high quantity mega sellers that are known for keeping the price down? If you cover those things, you're going to make way more money on your textbooks if you FBA them. But what I'm talking about is just your run-of-the-mill, your average book that we source cheap and we sell high on Amazon FBA. And the question is, can we really get that much more anymore? Let me just give you my approach. One of the big things that is going to determine what I price my book at is obviously going to be Amazon's new price, the Amazon FBA new price, and how many competitors are there with the average rank. All of it together. Anyone that just says, I always do this or I always do that, is not giving you the entire picture. Now, I have already made a pricing video for Amazon FBA books. I'm going to go ahead and link that video for you in the YouTube card so that you can get some perspective, because most of that stuff hasn't changed at all. But in terms of the average book that I'm going to source, typically the ranks are going to be 1.5 million or below, although I'll go as high as I have to make a profit if the book is worth it. Now, I will source a book at any sales rank. I never recommend anyone put actual hard limits on their maximum sales ranks. I think that that is a great way to short yourself some really amazing profit, and you put a little too much weight into sales rank as a statistic on its own. But typically the books that I source are going to be ranked no higher than $1.5 million, $2 million, really at the most, unless I'm making $25, $30, $50. If the profit's there, don't say no. Now, for books that are ranked under $1 million that usually take anywhere between 5 to 12 days to sell, I would honestly tell you that I don't pay very much attention at all to merchant fulfilled pricing. I don't pay very much attention at all to new merchant fulfilled pricing. I still give some respect to the new FBA price, and obviously I stick under the Amazon FBA price. When it comes to Amazon FBA, I don't necessarily price 5% or 10% below. I would honestly tell you that the better the average sales rank, the less of a discount that I give my book versus Amazon. If a book is selling in like the top half of 1%, I may only subtract about 3% on my price from Amazon if the rest of the prices allow it. Meanwhile, if I'm selling a book that is 5 million ranked or higher, I'm probably pricing my book about 15 to 20% below Amazon's price if it's allowed. And that also means that I'm going to pay really close attention to what my competitors are currently priced at. I take all of these prices into account, but I'm not beholden to them either. If someone has made a price mistake, I will undercut them. If Amazon is selling a book at $25 and the lowest Amazon FBA book is priced at $35, guess what? They're going to be undercut by a lot. And I think that's very important, because one of the observations that you're going to make when you're pricing is that too many FBA sellers just price incorrectly, and too many FBA sellers come into the market after that one and just follow the leader. This significantly reduces your ability to sell the book, and then you're going to wonder why a book that is ranked well isn't moving. So I don't mind ignoring the merchant fulfilled offers for a book if the book is ranked well enough where I can expect to make the sale relatively quickly. As the sales ranks increase or become worse, then I actually begin to pay very close attention to merchant fulfilled. By the time we have reached a sales rank of 2 million, I am pricing much closer to the merchant fulfilled price than I am to the new FBA price. Now, once again, this is all a matter of your strategy and your business model. If you are not trying to sell your merchandise quickly, then you can go ahead and price your books higher. But I will caution you that with things like the IPI and sell-through rate and where we're moving as far as long-term storage fees, that is a risky proposition, and it is going against what Amazon is trying to create. Now, for that reason, and mainly for that reason, we are seeing an Amazon FBA bump not really being there very much for books that are ranked higher. I would actually go so far as to say that for certain segments of my inventory that is highly ranked and is considered long tail, the Amazon FBA bump is dead to me.
You're nothing to me now.
I've been going through my inventory, and I've been really looking for ways to price it in a responsible way. As I prepare for the September monthly long-term storage fees, I know that as long-term storage fees come closer and closer each month to being assessed, we're going to see like a massive mini race to the bottom every single month. So I personally believe that the Amazon FBA bump is going to continue to lessen for certain types of inventory. But here's the question of the day. Do you price all of your inventory with an Amazon FBA bump, or do you use your discretion and price closer to the floor as the ranks go up? Go ahead and put in your comments below, because your guess is as good as mine. Well, that's all for today's video, folks. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see me make more videos like this one, please remember to share, like, and subscribe to support the channel. If you haven't liked this video yet, go ahead and smash that like button. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and tap on that book bag. And while you're in there, remember to tap that bell. Turn on those bell notifications so that you don't miss any new videos when I post them. Until next time, let's go make some money.